how should India have responded to the murder of 27 of its people?
Why are you not asking me the question, how should Pakistan have responded to the murder of its people in Jafar Express in Balochistan, which had India's fingerprints all over it? So this
well, why don't you answer my question first, and then we can come to other questions later.
We're
talking about the catalyst for what happened in the last 2 weeks was the terrorist attack and murder of 27 mostly Hindu men. And my question is simply, how should India have responded that you would have found acceptable?
So I like your assumption that there is no equivalence between Pakistanis being murdered.
When have I made any such assumption at all?
Because you seek an explanation from Pakistan, and I guess the world seeks
we're talking specifically about what's happened in the last 2 weeks. I think it's not. Well, look.
I think if you want to speak over me, I can.
I don't like it. Honestly, I don't like it. I don't like it when guests start to play whataboutery too early in the debate. I brought you guys together to debate what's happened in the last 2 weeks, not the whole history of the conflicts between India and Pakistan or any of that. I'm talking about what's happened as a direct result of a terrorist attack that killed 27 mainly Hindu men. And I'm simply asking you, if you were in India's shoes, how should they have responded to that? If you are against the way they did respond?
I do not want this debate at all to sink into the into this he said she said. I represent a country, and I certainly represent my person to be someone who seeks normalcy, peaceful coexistence, and mutual prosperity for the two countries. But if one country amongst the two believes that it has the unilateral strike to go outside of the realm of international law and unilaterally carry out strikes without even feeling the need to provide any evidence,
breaks the law, not India.
And break one line before in Balakot strike, and then decide that it is now trying to set a new norm. Now that norm that it was now trying to set has been cut to pieces. That whole,
okay, well, let me bring. All right, I've given you a good time to respond. Let me bring in Barkha again. I mean, what is your response to that?
A statement and a question. Hina said that Pakistan does not seek any equivalence with India, any parallels with India. There can be none. Pakistan just got bailed out by the IMF with a loan for $1 billion. The IMF projects India to be the fourth largest economy in the world. India would love to ignore Pakistan if we could. India seeks no hyphenation with Pakistan either. My question, I have two questions for Hina Rabbani Khar. One is, does she acknowledge the Lashkar-e-Taiba, recognized to be a terrorist group by the United States and the United Kingdom, recognized to be the group responsible for the Mumbai terror attacks of 26/11 in which 6 Americans died? Does she recognize both these groups to be terror groups? And if she does, can she explain why they have never conducted a single terror strike within Pakistan and have only conducted terror strikes in India? My second question to Hina Rabbani Khar is, what did she feel about the Americans coming in and taking out Osama bin Laden from Abbottabad, where he was given a safe space to stay? If she did not think the Americans conducted an act of war against Pakistan then, she should not think that the Indians striking the bases of the Lashkar-e-Taiba and the Jaish-e-Mohammed prescribed internationally recognized terror groups should be considered something that Pakistan has to worry about. Pakistan should thank India. We helped you demolish terror groups.
All right, let me get the response then. Hina, your response.
Look, Pierre, I'm sorry, it is fast, becoming what I had feared it would become, because sitting across the table or across the Zoom link with an Indian journalist who just claimed that Karachi port had been attacked and decimated, and who still probably has that tweet on her timeline, is beyond.
And guess what has been on display over here.
I would like to speak if possible, otherwise I would like to please exit
No,
this
you
program,
are misrepresenting me. No, man, you don't have good answers. You don't have good answers.
And I'm not going to ask her what happened about the terrorist who killed Pakistanis, 40 Pakistanis in Samjhota Express, who have actually been acquitted by Indian courts. So this, I think you should get an Indian journalist against an Indian journalist, because what they have displayed about their norms of reporting and about the dignified way and about concocting stories has been on open display. And allow me to say this. Pakistan, clearly, India's GDP is 11 times that of Pakistan. That's a reality. Pakistan is going through economic trouble. That's a reality. But when the war theater comes and there is an assumption of India being the net security provider for the entire hemisphere, a certain hemisphere, I think the other myth that has been broken is the whole question of India having the ability, just because of its economic, prowess, having the ability to be able to launch strikes into another nuclear state and not expecting a response. And once the response came, having the complete inability, it was literally a breakdown of Indian defense system.
Okay, firstly, I would like to greet the world and present the objective truth. I'm here to present proofs, facts, and figures. Donald Trump claimed that he was responsible for the ceasefire, and Pakistan proceeded to break the ceasefire about an hour after it was announced. My question to the world is about this man. I hope everyone's able to see this person's face. He was found 800 meters from a military base in Pakistan. That's the face that the world recognizes. This is the face that India recognizes because it's most specific to our narrative. This man is a UN designated terrorist being celebrated by the Pakistani military in the background. That's not the narrative that they give the Pakistanis. That's not the narrative that the world knows. But if you check with the UN, if you check with the US, they tell you that this is Abdul Rauf. India's attacks were precision oriented, moderate, and most importantly, they were simply a retaliation as they've always been. India's never been an aggressor in any of these situations. We export vaccines, we export philosophy, and we export engineers and leaders to the world. That's why our economy is 11 times the size of Pakistan. But the Pakistani narrative is that, hey, look at these people, they're trying to get the world to sympathize with them. Pierce, my question is to you. You've seen the objective facts and figures. What do you feel about this whole situation? The world only knows this person. India has a list just like people like this man.
Ranveer, my question for you would be that you posted something on Instagram which I found very interesting, but you then deleted it seemingly after the backlash that it attracted. So for those who didn't see it, let me just remind people of what you said. Dear Pakistani brothers and sisters, I will get hate from many Indians for this, but it's important to be said. Just like many Indians, I don't have hate in my heart for you. Many of us want peace as well. Whenever we meet Pakistanis, you invariably welcome us with love. But your country is not run by government. It's run by your military and your secret service, the ISI. The average Pakistani is very different than these two bodies. The average Pakistani has dreams of peace and prosperity in their hearts. These two villains have hurt your economy since independence. They've also constantly been responsible for terrorist attacks in India. Proofs in the next slide. First of all, why did you delete that?
Deleted it because the ceasefire was broken and Pakistan just gave us another reason to not trust the entire state once again. Even if you try having a conversation with Pakistanis, they respond with, oh, hey, where's the proof about the Pahalgam attack? My question is that, have you studied what the world is saying about your country? Have you seen the economy of your own country? It's very important to understand that the Indian armed forces simply retaliated to the action of the Pakistanis. I have no narrative other than the one that the world should know. We are combating terrorism because if India exports vaccines and engineers, Pakistan exports terrorism. We're doing a favor to all our civilians. We're protecting our civilians, but truth be told, we're protecting humanity because Pakistan has become the terror hub of the world. This is not an Indian narrative. This is the narrative that the world should know.
Okay, well, let me get...
दोस्तों, जैसा कि वीडियो में आपने देखा, वीडियो काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग और काफ़ी मज़ेदार थी और जो इंडिया के अंदर पहलगाम में जो आतंकी घटना घटी उसके मद्देनज़र जो इंडियन रिपोर्टर्स ने इंटरनेशनल मीडिया के सामने जो पाकिस्तान की मंत्री हिना की जो घनघोर बेइज्जती की है वो आपको इस डिबेट में देखने को जरूर मिली होगी दोस्तों, क्योंकि जब रणवीर इलाहाबादिया ने इंटरनेशनल मीडिया के सामने पाकिस्तान की बेइज्जती की और उनसे जो तीखे सवाल पूछे कि जब आपके देश के अंदर यूएस की मिलिट्री घुस जाती है और ओसामा बिन लादेन को पकड़ के ले जाती है, तब आपकी इंटेलिजेंस कहाँ थी। और अभी जो हालिया में पहलगाम इंसिडेंट हुआ, तो आपकी आर्मी के चीफ और आर्मी के कई बड़े अधिकारी जो कि यूएन के तरफ से जो रिकॉग्नाइज टेररिस्ट है, उनके जनाजे में क्या कर रहे थे। तो आपने देखा कि हिना खान रब्बानी से बोला नहीं जा रहा था, क्योंकि इंटरनेशनल मीडिया के सामने जो इनकी बेइज्जती हुई है दोस्तों, वो देखने लायक हुई है। तो क्या कहना है आपको इस वीडियो के बारे में, अपनी कमेंट सेक्शन में अपनी राय जरूर दीजिए। और दोस्तों, अगर आप हमारे इस चैनल पे नए जुड़े हैं तो इसे ज़रूर सब्सक्राइब कर लें, जिससे कि और भी मज़ेदार वीडियो आपको देखने को मिले। तो मिलते हैं अगली वीडियो में। जय हिंद।